Welcome back to normal baseball. Jacob Degrom is a Texas Ranger. Let's get into it. What's going on? Welcome back to normal baseball. I'm Alex Normal Dog. That is Lewis, and we're in a new setup, but we had to pause our making of the new setup to record this episode. Jacob Degrom is officially a Texas Ranger. Lewis, how are we feeling?
Mind blown.
I mean, we were in the middle of doing something. You got the notification. You just out of nowhere, 5 years, $185 million. I was like, that could have been a multitude of free agents.
Yeah.
So
I turned into a trance. I just kept saying the contract over and over again while we're sitting here trying to work out a new setup to make sure that everything looks all nice and pretty. And Jacob Degrom signs for 5 years, $185 million, which averages out to $37 million a year. He's officially the highest paid player on the active Texas Rangers roster. What do you think about this? Let's run through it quick. First thoughts.
Wow. I mean, first thoughts, they're building in Texas. I mean, last offseason rather, they got Corey Seager, Marcus Semien. We knew they were going to get someone this offseason, whether it be Degrom, Verlander, Rodon. We knew they were going to get another big free agent. We know they're trying to build. They're trying to win. I'm very interested. I'm excited. I love this. I mean, the Mets are in shambles. Mets fans are in shambles. But I think this just means a lot of things for a lot of different people. What do you think? Come on, let's get your first reaction. Come on.
The first reaction that I had was, what's next? In all reality, we know that this is not the last move that the Texas Rangers are going to make. They're not going to throw in the towel and call it an offseason after this one move. Now, the question is, giving Degrom $37 million a year, does that benefit them to go out and sign more players? We know that in Texas, they are willing to spend money.
Oh, yeah.
But does $37 million a year to one player kind of hinder their plan?
I don't think it does. They wouldn't have given it to him if it did. When you think about it, I mean, 5 years, yes, they do still have a couple of years to work. They have room for improvement still. It's not like they have to be incredibly good right now. But they are looking to win. This was a team who just last year finished second to last in their division with only 8 more wins than the bottom team. They well underperformed. I think everyone thought they were going to be a lot better than they were.
So is it safe to say you think that they're trying to move up?
Oh, 100%. They were trying to move up last offseason too. I mean, we can't forget they also have Jake Odorizzi now. So their rotation is looking like Jacob Degrom, John Gray, Martin Perez, Jake Odorizzi, and Dane Dunning. Obviously, Dane Dunning and Jake Odorizzi are a little lower. But they're back-end starters, and that's exactly what they are for this team. Yeah. It's funny, as of right now, every single person on this pitching staff is just, well, not every single, but a good amount of this rotation was just got, 2 out of the 5. Incredible. I mean, Martin Perez is just this year. They picked him up. He picked up the qualifying offer. He accepted it. I like talking about what this means for the Rangers because it must mean that they're, like you said, they're definitely not done.
I can imagine that in the meeting because first off, let's just explain what happened to us here in this setup. We're in the middle of building this new setup that we're trying to get all fixed up, and we're just standing here, and I, like Alex had mentioned earlier, just immediately started saying the contract amount for the years and everything. And one of the things that we noticed was that immediately after it was announced by Passon on Twitter, who had it first, per usual, right after, not even a minute after, Texas put out their press release, which means that they signed him this morning, and all the contract negotiations with Jacob Degrom, with both the Mets, the Rangers, and whoever else was in on him, they were keeping their cards close to their chest. which is interesting. Because
extremely close to their chest.
It makes you wonder with, if the Rangers are going to make another move, do they already have it set up? Yeah. Do they already have it in place?
But the thing is now, and honestly, I think the Semien and Seager thing, I think it was the same with them. I think it was a lot of, wow, that came out of nowhere. Like, there was no even, like, maybe there were some rumors, like there were with Degrom, too. We saw that he was talking to the Rangers, he was interested in going there, and then just boom, just like that, it's like he's there now.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how quick that happened.
Yeah, I feel like last season the same kind of thing happened with Seager and Semien.
But that was because of the lockout. This is a completely different ballgame of that Texas legitimately is willing to move like a ninja in the sense of they're going to move silently and they're going to strike and they're going to make sure it hits the lead where it hurts.
Wild. I mean, and then looking at the rest of this Rangers team, their bullpen needs help. Which makes you think there's good bullpen arms out in free agency. I know you have the list, but there's a lot of good bullpen arms out in free agency. I know there's what's his name, Britton is out. Is Tommy Kahnle now a free agent? I'm not sure. I don't think so actually, but I know there's a lot of good bullpen arms. I think they need to get a bullpen arm, right? Wouldn't you say? I don't think there's another option. As far as their lineup goes, you have Josh Young, who is a early Rookie of the Year candidate. He's going to be a stud. You have Jonah Heim, who is also a very highly touted catcher, especially defensively. Your outfield could use a little bit of help, but you have Adolis. You have Nathaniel Lowe, who batted .300 last season. You have Seager and Semien, who if they can stay in their place all season, they have a good-looking team right now. They have a good-looking team. They have this has the potential to be a very, very good team come spring training, come opening day.
Yeah, and I think that this is something that I think I tend to notice a little bit more when it comes to free agency, that making the big splash first really helps bring in other guys a lot easier. Like, if your big splash is their last move, then it's not really setting up as well as they might want it to. So getting this out of the way for the Rangers is beyond important. It's absurd how it just feels like just yesterday the season ended, and they got this out of the way quick. There's nothing to be said. Like, I just cannot believe that Jacob Degrom will not be wearing a New York Mets jersey. Do you want to talk about the other side of the coin, the New York Mets?
I mean, we could. I do want to return to the Rangers talk, but I mean, for the Mets, I want to say it's a big hit, but at the same time, they still have a decent. Their pitch. It's not like they're in shambles now because there are still starting pitching free agents out there that they can make a splash with. I mean, you got Verlander, you got Rodon. You have, who else do you have? I mean, even those are really
Chris
the two.
Bassett. He's a free agent right now.
But I'd say Rodon and Verlander are the two that would kind of make it okay that DeGrom is gone. I don't think re-signing Bassett necessarily would make Mets fans feel better about losing DeGrom, considering they had both of them on the team last season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, currently the Mets, Scherzer, Carrasco, McGill, David Peterson, and then the fifth one is just kind of up for grabs. It's kind of wild. It's wild for the Mets. I mean, obviously Mets fans aren't going to be happy about it. I guess it does also depend on who their replacement would be. But like I said, it's got to... At this point, if you're Cohen, Mets fans aren't going to be happy. Mets fans aren't going to be happy unless it's either Rodon or Verlander.
Let's see. So, Justin Verlander, I think, is now immediately who the Mets go to.
It has to be. He's the only guy that's up to that caliber. I mean, Rodon is good, but he's not Jacob Degrom. But honestly, I would take Rodon too. If the Mets go out and tomorrow or first day of winter meetings on Monday sign Rodon, I wouldn't be mad. Even if Verlander's still on the market, I wouldn't be mad. I mean, that's a good replacement.
Yeah, but
Rodon this season, After this, I want to take a look at DeGrom stats and just kind of talk about more about what it means for DeGrom. But I mean, Rodon this season had a 2.88 ERA, 31 starts, 178
One of my very
innings pitched,
first one-on-ones.
237 strikeouts,
You yourself
led the
here.
league in fifth.
I just got here. What are you talking about? There's tons of
very
different
low whip as
directions
well.
that I could take here at Fidelity, which is exciting. So I have no doubt that whatever I decide to pursue, it'll be a great.
My computer's making noise. I apologize for that. Don't know how long that was happening.
Well, I think I agree with you in the sense of that it's got to be. If Mets fans want to, if the Mets, not even the Mets fans, who gives a shit about them right now? It's more about the Mets themselves. If they want to recover from losing when healthy, the best starting pitcher on the planet, you have to go get, like you just said, Justin Verlander or Carlos Rodon. And I think that's the only way that you settle, as well as bringing back guys like Taijuan Walker, like Chris Bassett. I mean, I know that Seth Lugo's time with the Mets is probably at an end, and he is a free agent right now, but I think that they need to bring him back. The pitching in general, there's so many volatile things that can happen that you don't really know what's going to happen next, and this is the proof of it.
There's options.
There's options, but as many options as there are, they could all go away, like you said, first day winter meetings.
Yeah. I want to talk more about DeGrom now.
Go for it.
Because as a Rangers fan now, you're sitting here, you're like, DeGrom. We have DeGrom now. That's fucking amazing. But now the thing becomes, we build around him, but actually focusing on DeGrom's play, this guy needs to stay healthy. And what is your first season with the Rangers, this 2023? Are you happy as a Rangers fan if DeGrom pitches at least 20 games?
I think 20 games should be the benchmark. Benchmark it at 20 games and give him, you know what? Tell him 20 games. That's all that you want out of the first year.
I wouldn't tell him that.
No,
I think that's more of a...
I think that you should, because we know how his health has been.
That's not what I meant, though. That's not what I meant.
Okay, what do you mean?
I mean, like, they're expecting a full healthy season out of DeGrom. They want, at least that's what they want, a full healthy season out of DeGrom. Obviously. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I'm saying, if you're a Rangers fan and you come into the season full expectation this guy's going to be healthy all year, but then he only winds up pitching 20 games, are you still satisfied? Regardless of how the season is going. Do you say, hey, look, 20 games is a good first year we get out of DeGrom. That's more games than he's pitched last year, the year before, 2020. He's pitched 12 games in 2020, which I get that was kind of a full season because 60 game. Mm-hmm. But 15 games in 2021, 11 games in 2022. I say if I'm a Rangers fan and you get 20 games out of DeGrom, I'm pretty satisfied because that means he didn't have any major injuries unless it came like at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think then in that case, yes, 20 games is I think that's a good benchmark, like I said earlier, but I don't think that it's something that should be the high, that should be the peak. Obviously, what you want is, 2016 through 2019 DeGrom, 2020 DeGrom, who pitched almost every game that he could and was damn near lights out for the time that he was pitching those games. So, yes, I agree with you. 20 games is, I think, a good number. But let's hope that he soars over that. Give me 32 games. Give me 30 games.
Oh, of course. That's what you want. That's what you want.
And he's welcome to the American League, Jacob Degrom.
Yeah, first
come win an American League Cy Young. That would be fun. Sure, the Rangers might not compete for a division title this year, but it would be fun to watch them have the MVP Marcus Semien back. Like, in MVP form, Marcus Semien again for a full year, because he did pick it up at the end of that year, and then having a Cy Young, caliber player pitch every 5 days for them.
Mm-hmm. I think it's... I mean, as a Rangers fan, there's nothing to lose at this point. That's making the team better. Well, there's no making the team worse, you know what I mean? Like that is an upgrade no matter who you pick in that pitching staff. That was an upgrade. I love it. Now he's getting, like we said, 5 years, $185 million. lot of money, a lot of fucking money, $37 million a year. What do you think a contract that the Mets offered him was? Because I would like to think it was less years, maybe same AAV, but it might have been for only 3 years, no option or team option. And what does Degrom has an option for a 6th year? Is that what you were saying before?
I think so, but I don't want to hold my breath on that's what's happening. It's just all right now. Obviously, we're not in the sources spaces just yet. We don't know everything, but I have seen that there is an option.
I'm not seeing an option. 5-year contract covering the 2023 to 2027 season. No, doesn't seem like there's an option. No but even then, I feel like the Mets maybe the Mets offered him 2 years with an option for a third.
And it would have been a team option.
Because it wouldn't have been a player option. He would have taken that. Even if it was the same amount of money, I think DeGrom would have wanted to secure the bag more, especially at his age. He's what, 30 something?
He's
34. He's 34. Yeah. He's going to be around 35 when the season starts. I think he wanted to secure his money till he's 40. I mean, why wouldn't you? Rather than securing it till you're 36, say he's not as good when he's 36, 37. Smart move on DeGrom's half.
The thing that I want to talk about now, which is something that we already mentioned earlier, the Texas Rangers' next moves. What if you are the GM of the Rangers? Just give me the next thing that you're looking to do. Just one move.
Bullpen.
Okay, what?
Let me look. Okay. I could tell you right now. I would go out and I would get. I would go out and I'd get. Honestly, do you try for Kenley Jansen? Get a closer in your bullpen? Because currently, who even is their closer? Do they even have a closer?
I think it's kind of by committee.
I don't think they have a bottom line, you're the closer kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't think that they do. Unless...
No, they don't. They don't. Honestly, I would see Kenley as a decent option there. Go out and get Kenley, and even he's not obviously not the only reliever. Will Smith, free agent, put the Braves back together.
Kenley
the beginning of the season. Smith. Like you said, there's a lot of options. You get Zach Britton on the market, Will Harris, Trevor May.
Trevor May?
Yep, Taylor Rogers, Andrew Chafin.
Oh, Andrew Chafin is a fucking Texas Ranger. That is a Texas Ranger.
Trevor Williams, Archie Bradley, David Robertson. He was good He was good on the Phillies. He was a big part of that team. There's a lot Tommy Kahnle is a free agent. I was right. There are bottom line, like I said before. There's a lot of options for the Rangers in their bullpen, and I think that's what they should probably do next because, like I said, their lineup isn't looking terrible when you got guys like you got Semien, Seager, Nate Lowe. Which those three are really good. You got Adelise, who can be very, very good. He is very, very good. Jonah Heim is probably your catcher for the foreseeable future, at least for now. Josh Jung, like I said, he's probably definitely going to be their third baseman this season. He has a lot of potential, good talent. Brad Miller, is he a free agent? No, he's not. He's on the team, I believe. Brad Miller, maybe get rid of him. I think they obviously would probably want a different option than Brad Miller. He wasn't great. And then they need a couple outfielders, too. They do need a couple outfielders as well. Maybe Conforto?
There's one outfielder they've been linked to more than anybody else, and that right now is Mitch Haniger.
I could see them going out and getting Mitch Haniger. But like you said, to the answer to your first question, if I'm the Texas Rangers, I'm getting a couple bullpen arms right now.
Yeah.
Preferably Kenley Jansen and maybe Will Smith. I don't know how much money they're really working with, so I guess it also depends on that.
Well, have they soared over the salary cap?
No.
Or they're soft cap.
They are.
They're at $140 a year, or just a little bit.
Their current payroll is on the 26-man roster $108 million.
So that's not including Jacob Degrom.
Not including Degrom. So what? 140 million. That's not bad. I mean, I think they have more to play with.
I think
like not obviously not like another. They're not gonna give out like another Jacob Degrom money. They're not gonna go get Verlander or anything. But like they could sign a couple guys.
I think I agree with you that the first move, if you're the GM of the Texas Rangers, is to go and get another free agent. And I think that free agent for your bullpen should definitely be David Robertson. I think
it's, but he's kind of old. I don't know. It depends on what they want as an organization. If they want to go with the old closer, or they want to go with a guy like Will Smith or Kenley Jansen, who's like,
Kenley Jansen might be like a year younger.
But he's been pitching for the last however many years. David Robertson was, I mean, he was in the Atlantic League in 2021. Like, it depends on what they want.
Yeah. I think David Robertson would be the best bang for your buck. You know, get 2 years out of him rather than giving Kenley Jansen probably double per year what David Robertson would want. Because
not a bad idea, because it's not like this is their last year with any of their big guys. Like, they're going to have to Degrom for the next 5 years. They have Semien for another 8 years.
Yeah, for the rest
Seager
of his
for another
career,
8 years or whatever.
There's so many options for the Rangers if they want to rebuild their winning culture from the early 2010s.
Oh, here we go. 2023 payroll. I guess
so. Yeah, reliever. Go out and get a reliever.
Yeah, this is fun. This was a nice surprise on a random ass Friday night, chilling. What time do we think it happened? Like
8:15.
No. Yeah, maybe 8:15ish. Yeah, actually, you're right. Just kind of seemingly out of nowhere, just swoops in. Good for the Rangers. Can we give
round of applause, Texas Rangers?
Love that.
Who would have thunk?
That's really all that's really left to talk about.
This is just an emergency episode.
This emergency podcast episode. We wanted to get something out. Obviously, talk about it a little bit. First reactions. That's all our first reactions. I'm ready to have some fun with this. Now there's more stuff to talk about. We're doing a free agent prediction episode, but now DeGrom's not going to be in it. So many free agents have kind of signed already. It's kind of crazy, getting crazy around here, but it's fun. It's baseball, and that's what we like. Baseball.
The off season.
Baseball. Come on, let's get our first.
Yeah, baseball.
Yeah, that should do it. Any closing words, Lewis? Thank you guys for listening. If you're still listening, like, comment, subscribe, share.
Follow all the socials in the link tree, and of course, last but certainly not least, Aaron Judge, you are a Pittsburgh Pirate.
All right, we will see you guys next time. Peace.